Hey guys, David here. Welcome to Digital Outlook, where you're gonna find the best community in all of crypto. In today's video, XRP is about to make history. So guys, without further ado, why don't we get to it? So guys, have you ever felt in your life at any one time that you are actually standing on the precipice of a major historical event or change? I know for our generation, mostly my generation, a lot of people will say, hey, do you remember where you were when Elvis died? Remember that, guys? Those of us in our generation, and sure, we remember what we were doing, what was going on in our lives at that time. Maybe like for a lot of folks, hey, it was when, Princess Diana passed away and they had that big crash and things like that. I mean, there are certain events in history that many of us absolutely remember. I know that for our parents, one of the biggest deals was watching, the moon landing. And hey, now we got a lot of people doubting if that actually happened, yes or no, or who knows. But needless to say, there were times in our lives when we feel that, hey, look, some significant event took place in history and we were there to see it. Well, guys, I'll tell you what, we're witnessing a situation right now in the world and the global finance and the way that circumstances are actually playing out, that I think a lot of folks are going to go back to this point in history and they're going to say, do you remember where you were when that case came down and Ripple got that victory? And look how that has changed the world. Guys, I'm telling you, it is going to be such a history-making event when this decision comes out. And regardless of either way it goes, I think it's going to be that impactful. And in my estimation, I believe we're going to see Ripple get the win that we've all been expecting. But having said that, I want to say this. You're going to remember it, and it's going to be something that I think, should Jesus tarry, you're going to be able to share with your children and your grandchildren, because this whole economic system, the way that it's all put together right now, is literally unfolding at the seams. And you can see the implementation of this new digital economy right before your very eyes. And the transition that is about to take place is going to be so monumental that the effects are going to be felt for generations down the road. And believe you me, it is going to be one of the greatest wealth transferring events probably that there has ever been in the history of mankind. And your kids and your grandkids, should you actually live to see it, will probably be asking you, how on earth did you possibly know what was happening when the majority of the world was absolutely oblivious? And boy, I'll tell you, are we going to have some stories to tell. This is probably one of the most exciting times to actually be alive in the earth, at least as far as what I'm concerned. I mean, we haven't seen changes like this take place in multiple generations, and right now we're witnessing it right before our very eyes. And truly, when you think about that, and you're seeing the global geopolitical shifts that are going on, man, I'll tell you, I mean, when you see Saudi Arabia partnering up with all the various countries in the BRICS countries and making application to the BRICS countries, and you're watching your allies like France pay for liquid natural gas. Liquid natural gas, there you go. Anyway, in Chinese yuan, I'm telling you, it really is mind-boggling. These are things that some of us thought we would never see for as long as we live. But guys, we're seeing it, aren't we? And for those of us that have been around to see a lot of change, I'll tell you, this change that's coming up is absolutely phenomenal. Think of this. Here I am, walking down the road here, talking to you on my cell phone, a technology that we didn't even have until, 2007, guys. Yep, that's when the iPhone came out, 2007. Well, that seems like a long time maybe for some folks, but for those who've been around for a while, that's not too far back. Not too far back at all. In fact, I remember when the internet was just coming out, and before that, when home computers were just coming around. And look, what most of us were actually attracted to was the convenience, the technology, okay, and on, and absolutely oblivious to the financial opportunity that it represented. Why? Because most of us just weren't looking that far down the road. Now, guys, ask yourself this question. How far down the road do you genuinely have to look to see how distributed ledger technology is going to absolutely revolutionize the way the world works? I suspect it's certainly not as far down the road as what the home computer was or what the internet was. Look how many decades that took to see all kinds of this social media and applications and things like that. It's because technology and change is rapidly speeding up. Bang, bang, bang. Things are happening now that literally took years and years to happen are happening in months, and things that happened that took months are happening in weeks, and things that happened in weeks are literally happening in days. Until now, we've got instant settlement on transactions in real time. I mean, you got FedNow coming out, and the biggest thing that they're purporting is, hey, you're not going to have to wait 2-3 days to get these things settled. They're going to be settled literally in seconds. And that's what we're going towards, guys. This faster, more streamlined, more interconnected world. The world has gotten so much smaller. And for us that have kind of lived through it, we have that kind of gauge, that metric to actually see the change. And it truly is mesmerizing to us, because none of us expected this technology. How many of us remember watching the Jetsons on TV? And, you saw a little Elroy there looking at his little wristwatch watching the Flintstones, and we thought, oh my goodness, wouldn't that be amazing if we had technology like that where you could literally talk to someone face to face over a device? Well, here we are. And I'm telling you, when we were growing up, that was just science fiction. It was something that we thought would never happen. Well, look, the stuff that we're talking about now that people believe is science fiction, and the way that we're going to interact and transact with one another, how information is going to change, how the internet of value is going to transform the world, well, it may seem like science fiction to a lot of folks, but I'm going to say something right now. It is coming, and it is coming fast, and with it is coming opportunity like you have never even imagined. It is going to be truly mesmerizing. Now, having said all that, this case, I'm telling you, I think we're going to get a decision, and fairly soon. Now, John Deaton has just come out recently and explained why Judge Annalisa Torres is probably taking her time to make a decision on this. It's because how long lasting the impacts are going to be. And he's saying, and I actually agree, that the pressure that this judge is going through right now, this case has probably never been on her plate before, because the long-lasting implications of this decision, one way or the other, are going to be that significant. You just look at the Howey test. Now, that case happened right back there in the 1940s. And look at how much of a role it has played in this Ripple versus the SEC case in the 2020s. I mean, that is a long reach. And a lot of the people that were involved in that case, in fact, probably a majority of them, including the judge and everybody else, have all been dead and gone. Yet, that decision still lives, doesn't it? And it's still being used to interpret, legislation and interpret how the law is supposed to be applied. Well, I'm telling you, this case with Ripple, it is going to be so long lasting. And in fact, a lot of the people that are involved in it, should the world keep going on and it goes down the road there, will probably be dead and gone, and it's still going to have impacts. That's what I believe. And not only that, guys, the adoption that's coming for this digital asset space is truly going to be mesmerizing. Just like that article that I had last night with Citigroup talking about it. We're talking such mass adoption. It is going to be absolutely crazy. And think of this. With all of this other technology that's been implemented into our lives, heck, there's whole generations of kids now since 2007 that have been born into having this stuff, and for them it's just seamless. They just expect it was always there. Well, it wasn't always there, was it? When this stuff comes down the pike and you see all this go on, it's going to feel so seamless that people are going to feel like, hey, this is the way it always was, this is the way it always should be, and the adoption is going to be over the moon and out the door. And those of us that got in as early as what we did. I'm telling you, you are going to be thanking God for all of the blessings that he has given you, because we may not be the trailblazers, the first ones cutting that path, but I'll tell you what, sure feels like we're pioneers on this digital asset space. And next come the settlers, don't they? And after the settlers come all the merchants. And after all the merchants come all the institutions, and they just start piling in and piling in. Who benefited the most from that, guys? Who got in at the lowest level there? Out after the original, trailblazers, who got in? Well, it was the pioneers, those that risked it really, really early on. And they saw the greatest and the biggest gains than any of them. And so, guys, I can't wait. I think that's you and me. I think what we're seeing is history being made right before our very eyes. And we're going to remember this moment for probably the rest of our lives. So guys, change is definitely upon us, and one thing for sure, you're not going to want to meet it unprepared. And what our coaching program offers, that is where you and I can meet personally one-on-one for 1 hour over Zoom. And during that time, I share with you our personal journey in that last bull run and what enabled Judy and I to experience some amazing financial success. I go over the mistakes we made so that you don't have to fall into the same pitfalls we did. We take a look at your portfolio and make sure that it's balanced towards your goals, and we work together to develop your exit strategy. We can even help you get your assets off an exchange and onto a hardware wallet, along with delivering to you some amazing techniques that will really help you in this space. Now, the cost of that is $250, and if that's something that interests you, you write me right there at coaching@thedigitaloutlook.com, and we'll get you all booked in. So guys, this is a video I have for you today, and as always, I truly hope that you enjoyed it, and I want to invite you to join the conversation and drop your comments right down there in the comments section. Open it up to the community and start a discussion. Now, many of you know I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice, but if you found value in it, if you'd hit that like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. And hey, don't forget about hitting that notification bell down there, because as you know, in this space, things change just like that. And I like to get that information out to you as soon as possible. And on top of that, I don't want you missing out on any of our regularly released videos. Now, guys, we have had a goal of marching towards that 50,000 subscriber milestone. And every day we're making amazing progress. And if you're one of the thousands of folks who have been watching these videos, but you haven't yet subscribed, hey, would you do the channel a favor and join this community? We'd really love to have you on board. So, in the meantime and in between time, stay safe, be blessed, and I'll catch you in the next one.